This is going to be the last day that we're talking about radical inequalities and equations, and we're going to solve some of these inequalities and also some equations here. And these have a twist. So all the same steps as before, but things that are just a little bit different, of course, this time because we have to be extra. We're going to review, and then we're going to test quiz on this stuff. And then the day before our Thanksgiving break, the 24th, will be just like a catch-up day. All right, so our steps are over here. We're going to follow them again. Number 1, identify the domain. So we're always going to set this equal to 0. Okay, and I'm going to leave mine in a fraction. That's me. What is this? 5, negative 5 and 1/3, I think. All right. Then I need to isolate the radical, and the radical itself is isolated. All right. Perform the inverse operation. So here's where the twist comes in. When I square this side, I'm left with 3x plus 16. When I square the right side, I am left with this. Okay, oops, it's a 2. Squared means you multiply by itself. Do not rate this. Okay, if you rate this, I'm gonna cry, and you don't want to make me cry. I'm already homesick, right? Don't make me cry. All right, so when you have squared means multiply by itself. This also means you must FOIL or box, whichever you choose. So when you FOIL this, you need to get this. There's the twist for you today. Okay, I'm gonna move everything over here. I'm gonna do it one at a time. My brain's not working very well, I feel like, so there's a good chance I'm gonna make a mistake here. That's why I'm doing it one at a time. Okay, and then I'm gonna factor. Let's see, x minus 3 and x plus 4. And that means my x's are 3 and negative 4. And now we need to compare, right? And I think sometimes a number line does help you compare. Okay, x's have to be greater than negative 5 and 1/3. That's down here. Negative 4 would be here. Positive 3 would be here. And since both of these are above 5, negative 5 and 1/3, we can keep both answers. All right, so double checking against that number line. Now, this isn't one of those number lines we shade because it's an equation, but if you just want to think about these numbers on a number line, I wanted numbers bigger than 5 and 1/3, so my numbers had to be over here, and they both are, so I can keep them both. All right, so here's another one. We're going to do the same steps as before. We're going to check our domain first. Okay, always has to be bigger than 0. Negative 16, and when I divide by a negative number, I have to flip the sign and I get positive 5 and 1/3. So I want all x's less than or equal to positive 5 and 1/3. And now I'm going to go ahead and solve. So perform the inverse operation. So I have negative 3x plus 16 equals, and this means x plus 1 times x plus 1. Okay. It does not equal x squared plus 1. Don't do that. Right? When you FOIL this, you get this. Okay, again, I'm going to move everything over to the right side so that I can factor. Oops, sorry. And add 3x. So what do I have here? X squared plus 5x minus 15. So I need factors of negative 15 that add to 5. So I have, what can I do? 1 and 15, 3 and 5. All right, I don't think there is one. So what do I do if I can't factor? If I can't factor, I have to use the quadratic formula. All right, so bringing that back, right? X equals negative b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. A is 1. All right, so 4 times 15, negative 4 times negative 15 is positive 60. So 60 plus 25 is 85. So at least I was right about that. We can't factor. Okay, so plus or minus the square root of 85 over 2. And I'm not sure if 85 has a perfect square in it. But I'm going to get a little bit of a decimal approximation here because I am worried that when I put these on my number line, like 5 and 1/3 here is here, right? 5.3, that I get something that maybe doesn't work. Oops, I want to find my Desmos here. Okay, because that'll be an easy way to determine. So what are these as decimals? I'm going to get two answers. So negative 5 plus the square root of 85. And I'm going to put that all over 2. So 2.11. And I can do that again. Negative 5 minus the square root of 85 all over 2. And I get negative 28.4 something. All right, so why is that important? Well, we said that all of our answers had to be bigger than 5 and 1/3, and neither one of these are. Do you guys see that? 2.14 would be, or 11 is down here, negative 28 is somewhere over here. So for all this work, we get no solution. Okay, neither one of our answers actually work to give us the answer to fulfill this equation. There are no such numbers that work for this.